All right, so far we have discussed Python up till functions. So in the last two videos of Python interview preparation, we have covered these topics so far. So today is going to be the last video on Python interview preparation, in which I am going to discuss the important things that are generally asked from these topics, that is from datetime, object-oriented programming, and regular expressions. So let's start. And uh, if I frankly tell you guys, for interview preparations, date time is not that much important. They are not generally asked from Python, functions, list, dictionaries, object-oriented programming. These are the most important topics. But again, when we are going to handle data, we are going to deal with the dates data type, right? So how to convert any string date into Python datetime object, that thing is very important because a lot of our analysis is done on the date type data. That's why I have included datetime here. So we'll talk about the important things that you should understand in date times. Okay, so let's begin. Okay, and guys, if you're liking this series, I would request you to share and subscribe this video and channel more and more with your friends and with anyone who likes programming. Okay, because it supports our channel. Now, up till reduce we have seen. So today we are going to see here, that is date time. So we'll see from date time how to do it. Fine. So first of all, in order to use date time, we have to import a module from Python that is called datetime. Okay, import datetime. So datetime is a module present in Python that you can use for working with Python datetime objects. Okay, so datetime is a module. Now inside this module we have a class with the same name that is called datetime. Okay, so first datetime is the module name, second datetime is the class name. From this class I want to use this method called now. If I run this, it will tell me the current date. Okay, so here you can see 2023 second month, that is February, and 5th, today is 5th of February, and that is the uh, date I'm getting. And this is about the time 12 minute 8 and 27 seconds and all. And this time is different from the Indian time just because Google Colab is running on somewhere on the internet. Okay, so I'm getting the time where the Colab server is present. Okay, so it may be present in USA, so this time is actually from the USA. So take care of that thing in your mind. Okay, now using datetime.datetime.now, you will get the current datetime, okay, object. Now you want to store it in some variable, let's say date, so you can do that. Now date is a datetime object. You can check the data type of date using type function. Here it is a datetime object, so datetime module, datetime class. So date is a datetime object, right? So what does this means? If it is a datetime object, see, if it is a datetime object, it means you can ask your object to give the year name. So date dot year can tell you the year. If you write date dot month, you will get the month name. Sorry, it's date dot month, right? So this is second month. So if it is a date time object, then you can use year, month, and day. These kind of things you can use to get the information from your object. Okay, now you can use strf time function. Okay, now this function, or you can say method, this method is already present in the date time object, which is date here. So you can write date dot strf time, and here you can make use of derivatives. For example, if I write modulo a, it will tell me what day is today. Today is Sunday, right? So what is this modulo a? Modulo a is actually it is called uh, if I remember, derivatives. Like this we have other derivatives also. For example, you can use date dot strf time. You can use in the single quotes or double quotes, you can use modulo capital Y. So this is a derivative for getting the year name. Okay, so if you write capital Y, you will get the whole year. If you write small y, you will get just 23, means the short form of the whole year. Okay, likewise we have multiple derivatives. See, if I write capital B, you will get the month name like this. If you write small b, you will get just small feb. So over here you have seen modulo A, modulo B, capital Y, small b. Similarly, if you want hours, minutes, you can write capital H, you can write S to get the seconds and all. Okay, so this strf time is a method of date time object that can be used to get the informations like this. See, you can use these derivatives only when it's a date time object, otherwise you cannot use it. That is the benefit of making it a date time object and getting the information that you want. Okay, now there are other derivatives also. For that, what you can do is on internet, just you can just type python date time uh, derivatives, just write like this. Okay, see, on somewhere you will get calculate. Look at 1 second, just type properly python date time. Okay, and this time derivatives, and come to the images section here. Here you can see all the derivatives that you can use. See, oh, it's not loading. So over here on internet, you can easily find out these things. For example, I used capital A to get the Sunday. If you use small a, you will get sun, like this. So these are the derivatives that you can use to get the information. If you want hour, you can use capital H. You can use capital I to get 12-hour clock. You can use dash I to get a 12-hour clock as a decimal number. Okay, so a lot of thing is already there. It's not a proper class on date time. That's why I will not tell all the things. But how to do and which method you have to use, I have already told you over here. Okay, so this is how you can use strf time. Now this thing is very important, and now suppose you have a string. Okay, you have a string and you want to make it a python datetime object. For example, let's say if I have a string date. Okay, string date is equals to uh, in the string format I'm writing it as today is 5. Okay, so we'll write 5 dash, then this is second month, so we'll write 02, then this is 2023. So what is this? This is a string date, means actually a string written in date format, but the type is still string, right? If I check the type of this, you can see what is this. This is string, nothing else. Fine. Now I want to convert this string date into date time object, Python date time, so that Python can understand what is year, what is month out of it. Right now, if I use this string to get the year, I will not get that because this is not a Python date time object, so that Python understand what is year, what is day and date here. Okay, you cannot get these things until you convert it into datetime object, right? So I want to convert this into datetime object. So how can I convert? I want to put this into, see, I have already imported datetime. So from the datetime, need to import datetime dot datetime, and over here we have string format time. So we'll use strf time, and strf time takes two inputs. One is your datetime and the format. Okay, so just write the date time, that is your string format. So over here you can just write string underscore date comma, and then the format in which it is written. So you know the format is 0502 2023. So over here you have to write the format like how it is written over there. So this is what 05 is. 05 is the date. Okay, okay, so how you will get that? For example, over here I have a date. Let me just show you one by one. In order to get the date, what you have to write, so over here if I just press date dot tab, sorry, date dot, you will get the pop-ups. Now these are the functions that you can use. Now if you write not day, basically it will give me the proper day, that is 5. I don't want this. I actually want to use a derivative here. So let me just show you which derivative you can use to get the day. Now in order to get the day, you can use modulo capital D. If you run this, uh, it is giving me the whole date, that is 0 to 5. I just want to know the date. So I think small d, yeah, 05. Okay, so modulo d is what you want to use. So over here, this is day, and day can be uh, extracted using this specifier that you're using, modulo d. And then in your string, dash is present, so you have to write dash, and then the month is written. Okay, and how to get the month name, I have already told you. In order to get the month, you have to write it like this, m, small m. So then modulo d, and then modulo small m, then this is 2023, the whole year. So for this you have to write capital Y. So over here you have given the string, and here you have defined how this string is uh, present in the date format. First date is present for month, and then uh, year is present. So this is how you have to write. If you run it, what it is saying, descriptor, object does not apply to a string object. Okay, so I think I have used a wrong function. Strp time, I should use strip time. Okay, I was wrong there. See, I can use strf time. Strf time stands for string format time. Means if I have a datetime object and I want to convert it into string format, then I have to use strf time, string format time. But I already have a string and I want to convert it into Python datetime object, then I have to use what? I have to use strp time. So when I use this strp time, over here you can see I have got the proper uh, Python datetime object, 2023, comma 2, comma 5, right? Now, uh, if you want to check, you can check. Uh, let's say the variable is new date. So new date has this string date. So this was a string date. Okay. Now from the new date, if I just write day, it will give, oh sorry, it is giving me the day. That is okay, fine. Sorry, I want to use strf time. See, if I'm doing this after a long time, so a lot of thing has been erased from my memory, but I remember. If I use capital D, new date.strf time modulo d, if I run it, you can see I am getting the proper date time object. Now this is not a string actually, this is coming from a uh, Python datetime object. See, I'm able to use strtime on my this object, and this state, I have given this state, right? So this was just a string, it has been converted into this. The advantage of doing this is that you can use day, month, year, you can use as derivatives like this, you can use strftime, strp type only when it becomes a datetime object. Now that is the thing you have to understand. Okay, now here I have shown you strp time, and in the same way you can use strf time, but in case of strf time you should give a date. Okay, and it will give you the string format data. Okay, so let me show you that. So over here in the new date you have the date, right? So this time I will use the whole thing here, and then here you have to write strf time, not strp, and here you have to write the date time. So date object is new date here. Okay, and I want uh, date to be printed like this. Okay, so we'll put it over here, run, and you can see now I have got the date exactly the way I had written earlier. So see, from where I have extracted this thing, I have extracted this thing from the new date. See, new date is a Python object, Python datetime object. Here string date was actually a string, okay, which was converted back into Python format. But here I'm converting Python format into string format. So I'm doing it through strf time, that is a string format time. Suppose you want just 23, not 2023, you just want 23. So you have to change the derivative for that, that is modulo y, right? If you want to print month at the beginning and then the date, then you have to write it like this, modulo d, like this. So you will get the second month, fifth date, 23 year. Okay, if you want to put any other string here, let's say you want to put stashes like this, you can put it like this. So that kind of a string you will get. So here I am making my own date. Okay, now these are the important two methods, strf time, strp type, that we generally use to extract the dates. Okay, now in Python, some useful things are also present. For example, calendar module is also present. Okay, import calendar, and from the calendar, using this calendar module, actually you can print the year that you want. Okay, for example, I want to print a calendar for 2023. So just write calendar dot year 20. Okay, there is some problem. I think calendar has no attribute. It is saying See, I'm missing something. I think I have to use calendar again. Calendar dot year. Okay, calendar dot calendar. I want to print a calendar for 2023. So I think this is okay. Yeah, this is okay. You have to use calendar dot calendar. Now let me just write print. Okay, so print will format backslash and present over here, so you can clearly see the whole calendar. Now see, now this is the whole calendar that I have printed using Python. So to print the calendar, you have to use the calendar module, and in the calendar module you have a calendar class, and this class takes a year name for which you want to print the calendar, right? So here we have got the calendar. Now uh, suppose you want to print a specific month, so you can do that also. Calendar dot month, or if, yeah, let's check, okay guys. 2023, and I want to print the, let's say, uh, fifth month. If I run this, will I get, not getting straight. Instead I have actually given some input in using which there is more space between the dates. Okay, so no, not like this. Now there is calendar dot, I can use the, I have already used calendar. There should be some month. Yes, there is month. So over here you have to use the month method that is present there. Okay, so in the month you have to specify fifth month, sixth month, and from which year. That thing also you have to specify. So from 2023, I want second month. So run it like this. See, I have got the February month here. Let me put it inside the print, so you will get the whole February month. So this is how you can use the month method, which takes two input, year and a month that you want to print. Okay, so you can print the whole calendar, or you can use the month function to get the specific month. Likewise, there is a function called leap, and that thing you can use to check whether it is a leap year or not. Okay, now that's it for date time. Now let's directly jump into the object oriented programming. Now this is the most important thing. Now object oriented programming is actually very important if you want to develop websites, if you want to make classes and its objects, then object oriented programming is very important. It provides security also. Okay, so everything is binded to a particular class, so data, you are actually restricting the flow of data from one class to another class, and then this whole concept object oriented programming comes into the picture. Okay, that's why OOP is actually used to make classes and its objects, provide security and all. Okay, so what is a class? Class is basically a blueprint for creating objects. I guess in simple terms. So if you want to create some object, how it is going to look like, what will be the color, attribute, height, weight, all those things, you specify those things inside the class. So it is actually a blueprint for creating objects. People stuck in defining what is a class. Okay, these are the basic questions that people generally ask. What is a class? What is an object? Okay, now this is class. Now what is an object? Object is nothing but object is an instance of a class which takes its properties from the uh, mm, your class. Okay, so this is your object. Now suppose you have now inheritance and abstraction. Now, like, I'm just talking about these things properly. Okay, just by definition. uh, if you want to learn it better, so there is a specific video for that, I think around 6 to 7, using which you can learn these things properly. Here I'm just revising all these things up, and the thing that is important, I'm just discussing those things. Okay, now coming to inheritance. What is inheritance? Inheritance means inheriting the properties of the parent class into the child class. This is called inheritance. Simple. Okay, let me do all these things one by one over here. So how to define a class? First of all, we define class using the class keyword, and let's say the class name is A. So this is my class name. Simple. And I don't want to write inside. Sometimes people generally ask, okay, define a class and an object. So people think like, what should I put inside the class? You don't have to think too much. See, they haven't asked you to put these things in the class. They have just asked you to define a class and make an object of it. So just write class A, write pass, means you don't want to write anything inside it. Now create an object. Now let's say the object is small a, which is a object of capital A class. Okay, so this is a simple class, and small a is an object of that class. If they want you to show a class and object, you can show it like this. Now if they want you to put something inside the class, they will ask you to put something inside the class. Okay, then you can do that, otherwise it's not mandatory. Simple, you have defined this. Now even if you want to check the type, you can check type. You can check the type of a, and here you can see now a, uh, small a, which is an object of class a. So here you can see it is correct. Okay, so a is an instance of class. Now, inheritance, let's talk about that. Mainly, there are five types of inheritance in Python. First is simple inheritance, means you have a parent class and you're inheriting its properties into the child class. So that is a simple inheritance. Okay, so how to do that? Like this, class A. Okay, you have written pass, and now you are writing class B, and inside B you are writing A. So what is this? This is simple inheritance. You have not defined anything, right? So this is simply uh, a simple inheritance. Okay, simple or single, you can say. Mainly there is only one inheritance, so this can also be called as single inheritance, and it is the most simplest inheritance that you can do. That's why it is also called as simple inheritance. Okay, now you want to create an object of a, let's say object of b. Okay, object b, which is a object of class b, let's say. Okay, so here object b is actually object of class b, which inherits properties from b as well as from a. So suppose in the class a you have written a equals to 100, small a equals to 100. So here in object b also you will get that property. Let me run, and now you can write object b dot a. See, you will get the value of a also, because this part is already inherited by class a, sorry, class b, and class b gave that value to its object b. Okay, this is simple inheritance. If you want to see multiple inheritance, multi-level inheritance, let me show you. So this is multi-level inheritance. Okay, multi-level inheritance. Be very clear with the definitions, because most of the time they don't go into the practical part. Okay, they will generally ask you, okay, what is multiple inheritance? So you should be very clear in explaining what is simple inheritance. You can do that only when you have clear understanding about inheritance. Okay, so what is multi-level inheritance here? Multi-level inheritance means level by level inheriting the properties of upper class into the child class. So class a inherited into b, and class b inherited back into the c. So level by level you are inheriting. So this is called multi-level inheritance. How to demonstrate it? Let's say class a, just write pass, simple. Now write class b, inside b you are inheriting a. So now you can put colon, then pass, and then you have another class called C, and in the class C you are writing B. Then you can just write pass. Okay, so what is this? This is multi-level. You are inheriting this into B and this into C. Level by level you are inheriting. So this is multi-level inheritance. Now if we talk about multiple inheritance, and multiple inheritance simply means that you are inheriting multiple classes into a single class. Okay, so if I write multiple inheritance, see, this is how you can demonstrate multiple inheritance. Class b is written, and then here, sorry, okay, class b, oh, sub problem, class b colon enter, and now here you can write pass, and then you can write class C, and in the class C you are inheriting class A and B as well. So now this becomes your um, multiple inheritance, right? This is how it actually works. Now here in B you might have inherited some other class also. Okay, you might have inherited E also. So like this you can inherit it over here. But again, there may be some problem with MRO, method resolution order. I'm not going into that, guys. What is MRO? You can check it out from the oops videos that I have uploaded already. Okay, so this is the thing, b a, and you are inheriting both the classes into a single. This is multiple inheritance. Okay, now these are the three most important inheritance that they generally ask. Apart from that, if somebody wants to ask some difficult things, they can ask you about hierarchical inheritance, they can ask you about hybrid inheritance. Okay, so let me quickly discuss about the hierarchical inheritance. Okay, what is hierarchical inheritance? Hierarchical inheritance, what you do, you just inherit the top class into the other child classes. For example, you have class A, here you just write pass, and then you have class B, and in the class B you are inheriting class A. Then just write pass, and then you have class C. In the class C also you are inheriting class A, and then pass. So what is this? If you see here, in the class B you have inherited class A, in the class C also you have inherited class A. So the top class, that is A, is being inherited into its bottom class B and C. So this is hierarchical class. So this is how you can demonstrate quickly what is hierarchical inheritance and how things happen over here. Okay, now if I talk about hybrid inheritance, in hybrid inheritance what we do, it is actually a mixture of your hierarchical inheritance and multiple inheritance. How? Let me show you. Class A, okay, just pass, then class B, then pass, okay, and sorry, in yeah, so here you have inherited A like this, and then you have defined class C. In the class C you are again inheriting A. So what is this? This is your hierarchical inheritance, right? So pass, and then you have another class called D, and in the class D you have actually inherited B as well as C. So this becomes your multiple inheritance. So you can see over here up till here this is hierarchical and this is multiple. So overall this is hybrid inheritance, means mixture of two inheritance, that is your hierarchical inheritance and hybrid inheritance. See, you can remember this thing uh, using these diagrams. Okay, in very simple words I have explained you these things, but you should understand this. Let me erase these things. So for example, in case of simple inheritance, what you do, you have class A and that gets inherited into B. This is simple. In multi-level, what you do, A inherited into B, B inherited into C. This is how you can remember. In multiple, what you do, this is multi-level. In multiple, what you do, A is inherited into B, and then uh, you are inheriting uh, sorry, you have class A and then B, and you are inheriting both into C. This is your multiple inheritance. All right, so this is simple, this is multi-level, multiple, and in case of hierarchical, what you do, you have class A and you are inheriting into B into C like this. Okay, this was your what, multiple, and this is hierarchical. Okay, just look at the arrows how I have drawn. In case of hybrid, what you are doing, you're just mixing of things like this. For example, A you're inheriting into B and then C. Okay, hierarchical inheritance, and then B and C are getting inherited into some other class, that is D. So this becomes your hybrid inheritance. Okay, as simple as it is. Just remember the diagrams, remember how it should be demonstrated in the most easiest way, then you can understand all those things. So this is about inheritance. Now generally they also ask you about the you know the three important things that are generally asked from object-oriented languages, that is what is encapsulation, what is inheritance, that I already explained you, and what is polymorphism, and one more thing is there, that is abstraction. So if I talk about abstraction, see, what is abstraction? Abstraction simply means just hiding unnecessary information from the end user is called as abstraction. For example, see, uh, you guys use this thing, right? Import. If you guys have worked with pandas library, see, you don't know how pandas library is written, but you are using that thing, right? So using import pandas, you have imported all the functionalities, methods, class variables that are present inside pandas, but you don't know those things. This is a very simple concept of abstraction. You play a video game but you don't know the programming behind it, right? But you are able to play the things, you just know the interface, that's it. It's abstraction. So why we do abstraction? We do abstraction just to secure the things from the people. Okay, this is abstraction. So for example, in some file, let's say I have written some code. For example, here I have written something. So this is a simple Python file that I have created with the name access modifiers.py. I will show you why I have defined this, but just take it as a reference that this is some class and variable that I have defined inside this inside this access modifier file. Okay, now I have saved it and then I'm importing it somewhere here. Now using this import access modifier, I'm importing that class over here. So here I have imported that class, but I don't know how it is written. So this is abstraction. Simple. Now the next thing is encapsulation. What is encapsulation? So the word is encapsulation. Always give focus on the name, guys. Encapsulation. So what is the meaning of encapsulate? To bind something, right? To encapsulate something means to bind something. For example, um, if you want to bind variables, methods, class into us into some entity, this is called as encapsulation. For example, here you define class, let's say class A, and inside the class you define a lot of variable, let's say b is equals to 300. Here you have defined one function also called sample. Sample takes two values a comma b, and then it prints the sum of a plus b, let's say. Now this is a simple class that I have defined, which has two variable and one sample function. So this class A has three things, right? Now all these three things are binded with class A. So what is this? This is encapsulation. So class A has encapsulated variable A, B, and sample. This is encapsulation. Okay, so this is how you should define it, and you should demonstrate it if it required. This is encapsulation. To bind all the variable function into a single entity is called as encapsulation. That entity could be a function, it could be a class that I have shown you here. And next thing is polymorphism. Poly means many, morph means forms. Okay, so polymorphism simply means having many forms. Okay, so polymorphism simply means having many form. For example, see, you can use length function with the string. See, if you use length function with the string, you will get how many characters are present in this string. You can also use length with the list, like 23, and here I have written apple. Now if I use length function here, you will get just 2. So same function giving me different result with different data types. So for strings, it gives me the total number of characters present in the string. For list, it is giving me the total number of elements present in the list. Okay, in the same way we can use type function with other data types, class, objects. So same function but multiple forms is called as polymorphism. Okay, now this is how you should define these important terms from object-oriented programming. Now what is the next thing that we have to discuss over here? Okay, let me see. Access modifiers, I think, then polymorphism, encapsulation. Now what is method overriding, method overloading, operator overloading? Okay, so let's discuss what is method overriding. Overriding, what is overriding? First of all, you should understand override means, for example, in racing, we say na, we have overrided you, means just going ahead of that person, right? In the same way, for example, you have written, if I talk about variables, let's say a equals to 100, and then again you define a equals to 300. So what you are doing, you are overriding the value of a with the new value. So now the current value of a is 300, not 100. So this is overriding of variables. Okay, inside the class, when you define the same function again, so you are actually overriding the function. For example, here you have defined a class like this, let's say class A. Inside the class you have defined def sample. Okay, this sample, just take let's say the function name is addition. Okay, addition, this takes two values a comma b. Okay, then print, it prints the sum of a plus b. Simple. Now uh, in the same function, in the same class, if you write it again, let's say addition, this takes a, b, and c, right, like this, and then you are printing the sum of a plus b, a plus b plus c. So this is actually overriding. You're overriding this addition with this addition. Okay, so now if I create a object of class a, so it has addition. Okay, so if I use addition on it, I pass 2 comma 3, it will not work because I have overridden the last addition with the new addition method, which takes 3 values. So here I have to give one more value, that is 4. So let's say 2 3 4, and it is giving me the result. And addition takes 3 but 4. Okay, so there is some problem, guys. I have written just additions. We are defining methods inside the class, so it should be self. Okay, self dot a, self dot b, like this I should write. Now it's okay. Okay, so run. Now run 2 3 4. See, you are getting 9. Okay, don't forget to write self and all. And sometimes people may ask you what is self. So you should understand self is actually a keyword which points to the current object. So here I'm talking about class object a, small a. So self is actually pointing to small a. So small a has addition. So that's how you have written small a dot addition. Okay, so actually a name is passed to the self parameter. Okay, this is how it actually works. 2 3 4, it will give you 9. Okay, so if I just write 2 3, it will not work because it's already overridden with the new function. This is overriding, and this thing can be done in the same class or in the other class also. For example, let's say if I write another class, let's say class b. Understand this thing, guys. Here I have just written, b equals to, I want to put some value of 1 second. I want to put some value over here. So would like to say b is equals to 200, let's say. That's it. Now in the class b, I have inherited class a like this. Now I want to create an object small a, which is actually a object of b. Let's say this is a small b. Okay, run. Now if I show you b dot, just wait for a second. Yeah, so b object has this attribute called addition and small b, which is actually a variable. Okay, now if I write b dot b, it will give me 200 because that is a variable inside b object. If I write b dot addition, so you can see I will get the method, but this method takes some value, so I need to pass some value to it. Okay, it's not an attribute, it's a, sorry, addition. So here it is saying me that this method is present at this address. So I have to use the brackets. I need to put some value 2 comma 3. If I run, I will get 2 comma 3, that is 5. Okay, are you getting this? So this object has addition because it is already inherited in the class b. So here you have to um, pass two values. Now for example, now let's say you are defining this addition again. You are defining the same addition class again uh, into the b class. Okay, so if you print it, let's say a plus b plus c, this time it will ask for three values because this addition will override the addition which is already imported from class a. So this is method overriding. You are overriding it. So if you run it now, and now if you write b dot addition, see, it will give you error because the last method was replaced with the new addition, okay, method. So here if you write 2 3 4, you will get value, but with two values you will get error. Just wait for a second because all the things are executing on the internet, so it may take some time because it depends on my internet speed also. This time it is taking some time, but we'll get the output. This is method overriding. Okay, hold on. Yeah, here I have got the values 9. Okay, so fine, it is working properly. So we have discussed method overriding. Then what is method overloading? See, overloading simply means giving your method the capability to work with different sets of parameters. Okay, for example, sample a comma b. Okay, now this is a simple function that I am writing. See, if we write the function inside a class, this is called as method. Simple. Now here if I write print a comma b, sorry, a plus b. Okay, now it's a sample function. Okay, which takes two values. So you need to pass two value. It cannot work with one value, two value. It cannot work with one value or zero value because it can work with only two value. Okay, so this is not function overloading. If you want to overload this function, you should give some value, for example a equals to 0 or let's say b equals to 0. Okay, now this function can work with 0 value, 1 value, 2 value also. So if I run it, see, I will get a plus b at least. See, I'm getting 0. I have not given any AB value, but still I'm getting the value. I can pass some values also, let's say 2 comma 3. Same function, is working without the argument as well as with the argument. Now if I write 2 also, I will get the value, see, because a I'm passing 2 to a, so 2 plus 0 is again 2. Okay, so I can write the values like this also. I can pass the value of b first of all, and then I can pass the value of a also like this. So you see here I am using sample function in many ways. So this is called method overloading. You have overloaded this method to work with multiple argument. This is what? This is function overloading, guys. But if I put the same thing inside the class, then it will be called as method overloading. Need not to be confused with. Okay. For example, if I write if I write class A colon enter, and here we have written sample, which is basically def sample. Now just uh, put these things inside the function. Fine. Sorry. Print A, or you can also write return. Both is fine. Return A plus B. Fine. And since this function is present inside the class, so you have to write self here. Remember that. Okay. Self comma this. Now if you create an object of class A, let's say this is the object small a, so a has sample function, right? So it can work without argument, with argument, in multiple ways, right? So if I write 5 comma 6, it can work with this also. So now same function I have written inside the class, so now it becomes a method, and since this method can work with multiple inputs, so it is called as method overloading. Simple. I hope I am clear with whatever I am explaining you here. This is method overloading. Now if I talk about operator overloading, so if you give your uh, function this ability to uh, work with multiple operators, for example your objects can work with plus operator, minus operator, greater than equal to operators, okay, then this is actually operator overloading. Okay, now this is again advanced thing. These are not generally asked. If you want uh, to learn it in depth, you can go through the videos. I'm keeping it very simple, just a kind of revision thing, how things are asked and what it is actually. Okay, so let's see what is operator overloading. Okay, so let me show you one thing. Let's say I have defined a class called point. Okay, so point is a class here, and it's always a good practice to write the class name with capital letter. So first letter should be in capital. Okay, uh, then what you are doing, this will have a constructor called init, and this will have a self, and then it will take let's say x value and y value. Okay, and then you have to assign this value to your object. Let's say self dot x equals to x, self dot y equals to y. Okay, now these are the two values that you are assigning to your object. So let's create an object p. P is actually an object of point class. So this is how you define, and inside this you have a constructor called init, and this takes two values x and y. So you have to pass these two values, let's say 2 comma 4. This is what? This is point 1. Similarly, you want to create another point, and that point is, let's say, p2. So p2 is equals to point, and here you have to write, let's say, 1 comma 6. This is another point. So xy value you have given. Let's run it. So you have p1 p2 points which has x and y value. If I show you p1 dot x, you can see the point 1 x value is 2. Okay, if I write y, you can see point y value is 4. Now we have our own objects, that is p1 p2. So can I add my objects p1 p2 like this, p1 plus p2, the way I do with integers? For example, let's say if I have a equals to 10, b equals to 20, so a and b are integer objects, so I can add my objects a and b like this. I can add a plus b, that is 30. But why I'm unable to do the same thing over here with my own object p1 and p2, which are belonging to my own class, that is point class? See, integer was a predefined class which is already defined in Python. So whatever object you are creating, you can add them using plus operator. But why I can't do the same thing with my own object? Because inside the point class, you have not written any magic method add. Okay, that's why your objects don't have the capability to get added when you use the plus operator in between the objects. So this is what I have to do. I need to overload my class with those magic methods that will make my objects to get added, subtracted, or any arithmetic operation that you want to do with that. So let me show you how you can do. Now let's add a magic method, that is def underscore underscore add. Now magic methods are always defined like this. So it is already a predefined method. Okay, def underscore underscore add, and here you have to specify what you want to do. So let me first of all write self, and let's say the other object in with which I am going to add it, I will say it as other. Okay, and then what I want to do, when when I write p1 plus p2, what I want, actually I want 2 to be added with 1, 4 to be added with 6. So the final result should be a new point object whose value is actually 3 comma 10, means the addition of these. Okay, so how I can do that, I will say that self dot x is equals to self dot x plus other object x. Okay, so other would be p2, so p2 object x value dot x. Okay, similarly self dot y is equals to self dot y plus other dot y. Like this you have to write it, and then you have to return it. uh, Here you need not to write self. Okay, just assign it in a variable called x and y, and then you have to return this with the point class x comma y, like this. This is how you have to return it, and I hope everything is fine. X plus max. Now let's run it. Okay, executed. Now if I run p1 plus p2, I should get the values. Yes, I'm getting the values, but I cannot actually see the value because it is written in the object format, point object format. Okay, let me store it in some p3 object. Okay, so the result of p1 plus p2 is stored in p3. Let's run it, and then if I run p3 dot x, so do I have x? Yes, see I have added 2 and that is 3. And then if I write p3 dot y, it should be 10. So let me check. So yes, so I have created a new object in which I have got the sum of p1 plus p2 object. But see, when I was writing p1 plus p2, I was not getting the string representation of the value. So how to get that thing? That is also important. How to get get the string representation of my data? This is a object representation, that okay, this object is present over here. So to get the object representation, you can write def str like this. So you can write this thing self, and here what you can do, you can return the values in the form of a string. So you can write self dot x over here, and then you want to write comma there, then curly bracket, then here you have to write self dot y, and this is a format string, so you should write f before the string. So you want to put x value from the object, and you want to put its y value from the object. This is how you want to return the value. So if you run it, and then p1 plus p2, oh, still you're not getting it. uh, let me check what is this coming up here. Just a second. Cancel. So okay, so when I executed this thing, I was not getting the values p1 plus p2 here. But see, if I just write print function, so print will see that yes, this class has string attribute. Okay, so whatever the value you are displaying will be displayed in the string format because of this str. So str is also a magic method. So over here you can see you have written self x self dot y, which are separated by comma. That's why in the output also you are getting the same thing. Okay, if you want to display the brackets also, so you can put the bracket inside the string format and you will get that thing. run, and then run again. So you can see 3 comma 10. Simple. So because of magic method str, you can display the value in the string format, and that is more readable. That's why we use str method, okay, to make the output readable. Now see, I can perform only addition with my objects. I cannot perform anything else with my object. Why? Because I have not given those methods to my object. So if I write p1 minus p2, can I do this? No, I cannot do this because I have not defined subtract method inside it. Okay, if I write p1 multiplied by p2, can I multiply my objects? No, I cannot do that. So if you want your objects to have this operator also, so you have to write the magic method called mul. So how to write that? Right, like this: def underscore underscore mul underscore underscore self comma other. So you want to multiply your point object with another point object. So this is how you have to write the same thing, the way you have written with the add. Here also you have to write it. So let it be over here, give some space. Yes, so you can see here, instead of plus, what you want to multiply them. Simple. Okay, and because of a string str method that you have written, you can represent your string in this format. So let's run. So I have executed it again. Now let's write p1 into p2. If I run this, so right now you can see I am able to multiply my p1 and p2 objects, but I'm not getting it. So what I have to do, I have to write print p1 into p2. So then I can get the values. Okay, so it is giving me some error, guys. 1 second. I have written return in the add method, but in the multiply method, I have missed that. That's why I was getting none when I executed this thing. And when I was writing print p1 into p2, then I was getting none because I was returning nothing from the mul method. So take care of these few things, okay? See, I have missed this thing over here, okay? Paste it, and this time I want to return x and y, the thing that I have multiplied here. Now you will get the proper value. Run, 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 and see 3 into 10, and this is 2 comma 24 because 2 into 1 is 2, 4 into 6 is 24. So this is how you have overloaded your uh, this class A, sorry, this class point with multiple operators. So this is called operator overloading. You're um, see, you're putting so many operator functions, okay, that you can use with your object. So now you can use p1 plus p2, okay, then you can use p1 minus p2, p1 into p3. So a lot of operator you are able to use here. This is your operator overloading. Now moving forward, let's say I have um, what are the other things? I think access modifiers. See, access modifiers, again, very important thing. So access modifiers in Python, there are 3 types of modifiers. That is, one is your public, then protected, and then private. Okay, so public modifiers are basically written normally. Let's say there is some variable called name. So this is a public variable. Okay, and if you have a protected data, okay, then protected data is actually represented as underscore name. So wherever in the class you write underscore name, basically it's a protected variable or a method. Okay, and private data has 2 double underscores at the beginning of a name. So for example, now if I have to write something over here, then I will write it like this. See, I have already written it over here in a separate file. This is .py file. So here I have written a sample class. Inside, this is a public variable, this is protected variable, this is private variable, and this is public function, protected function, and private function. So the name is in the same way, okay, public, protected, private, and this is public function, protected function. Okay, so over here I have written these things, I have saved it, and then in this other notebook I am importing this file as am. So you can see here the file name is access modifiers, and both files are present in the same folder, that is Python. Okay, it is present in the same folder. Now this file and that file both are present in the same folder, so I can easily use import here, import access modifier file as am. So here I have imported it. Let me execute it, and then I can create am. See, inside the am I have written a class, and what is the name of class? Sample class. Okay, so am dot sample if I write, so I can import the class. See, now I want to create the object, so I can write obj is equals to am dot sample. Sample is a class, so you have to write it like this. So now obj is an object of sample class, right? Since this sample class is coming from this file, that's why I have to write am dot sample, right? Now in the obj, if I write dot, then I press tab, you can see I can see the public function and the public variable. I cannot see the protected variable, protected function, private variable, and the private function. See, that thing is not accessible over here, right? Now this is how Python restricts the flow of data from one class to another class or to some other place. Only public data is available to me. Now if I write, see, public, now you know what is public here. Public is actually a variable, so I will get 100 over here. So here you can see obj.public will give me the value. Now obj dot if I write public function, it's a function, so you will write it like this, obj.pub function. Okay, I think pub function func, so it's correct. What's the issue? Takes 0 position argument, but one was given. Okay, there is some problem. Now if you save it, def pub function, okay, I have missed self here, right? Self, put self, and put self. Okay, like this. Now save it, save the file, come to this. Now I have to restart it again in order to load the current file, then run, and then run. Obj is a sample class object, so it has pub function also, so run, and now I'm getting hello. Because of the self problem, I was not getting the output. Now see, this object also has protected variable, but that thing is hidden. You can see that. See, that thing is hidden from here. But protected means developers should use this feature, not the end users. Okay, that's why it is represented with single underscore. But still, in Python you can access everything. That's why Python is not that much secure in comparison to Java, right? I will show you how I can access the protected variable as well as the private variable. So in order to access the protected variable, I know that it is written with underscore, so I can write protected, and I will get the protected variable, that is 200. See, obj dot uh, protected function, so pro function I have written. See, here also obj, okay, it is written with underscore, right? So I'm getting by. So I am able to get the protected variable as well as the function. Now you can say, sir, you know that there is protected variable and the protected function because you have defined it. How will the user know? But see, if I just check the directory of object that I have defined here, you can see at the bottom I have pro function, I have protected, written with single underscore. So this signifies that these are protected things. Okay, and here you can see I can even access the private data with the help of class name in the beginning. Okay, so this is called name wrangling. If you watch my oops videos, there I have discussed these things, what is name wrangling and all in access modifiers. So here, let's say, yeah, if I want to access the private variable, so this is how I have to write. So object dot, then the class name, that is sample class name with single underscore, then double underscore, the variable name, that is private. See, I am able to access the private data also, right? Obj dot, now if I want to access the private function, I can do that also. Here just write uh, sample dot func, right? This is the name of the function. See, I'm able to access the private function as well, and this concept is called name wrangling. Okay, putting the class name first and then the variable name or the class name. This is called name wrangling concept, and this way you can access those things. See, if still you are struggling to understand what is access modifiers, so with another example, see, you can understand. Suppose uh, you have a party at your home. Okay, You have a party at your home. So this is your home, and in the outdoor, you are putting the poster that there is some party. So anyone from the outside can see that okay, today you are going to have a party. So they are invited. They can come. So all public can come to your house because you have put it the poster outside of your gate. So this is public information, right? So here in the class, you will say this is public data. Now, if you put the same poster inside the home, then home members can know that okay, today you are giving the party to all the house members, right? So this is not open to the public. This is open to the members which are present inside the home. Now you should understand home is actually a class here, right? So all the members of class can access your party. In the same way, if you have a protected variable inside a class, all the members of the class and its derivative can access your variable. Okay, that is defined in the class. But if you put the same poster inside your room, see, nobody, not even your house members and not even the outside members can know that today you are doing your party. So you are partying alone in your room because you have not uh, you have defined this as a private party, so you have put it the poster inside your room. So this is how you can simply understand the concepts by relating it with your real life. So if it is a private data, then only the class in which you have defined it can access it and nothing else. Simple. So this is all about the object oriented programming. I think I have covered almost all the things here. uh, Over here, let me just check once again. Access modifiers, whatever I have written, I have defined. Yes. And decorators. Okay, so see, decorators are nothing but there are some at the rate static method. This is a decorator. At the rate class method, this is a decorator. We use decorators to add additional functionalities to our class. Okay, for example, there is property decorator, there is class method decorator. Okay, how we define decorator? See, you might have seen this thing, class A. Okay, and here you want to define a, let's say, simple function. So this is addition, and this is instance method. So instance method need not any decorator. By default they are all instance. Using this self keyword you can know that okay, this is actually a instance method. So what you want to do here, you want to do print a plus b. This is instance method. Suppose you want to make a class method, so you can use a decorator called class method. So Python will come to know okay, below this decorator, the method that you have written is actually a class method. What is the use of class method? Using class method, basically you can change any class variable. For example, let's say a, okay, colon, and then what you are doing, a is equals to, let's say, cls dot a. Now in place of cls you can also write self, but since it's a class method, so we are writing cls means class variable. So I want to update the class variable with the value that I have got here. Okay, let's say this is some number, and I'm updating the class variable num has 0 over here. Now I'm updating the class variable. This is a class variable defined inside the class, so it will be updated with the value that I'm passing here. Now similarly, I can have, static method. Now these things that I'm defining with the symbol at the rate is actually a decorator. There is property decorator also. You can go through that decorator, guys. But here you have got the idea how we can use decorator. Now without here in the static method, you can write a simple method that doesn't require self keyword also. Okay, so this will take just name. Okay, print name will take a name attribute, and then it will say print, and then hello, comma, and then the name. See here, these are the two decorators that I have defined. And now if I want to create an object, okay, of class A, I can create it like this, run. Now if you say, oh, okay, there is some problem, I think, okay, I have missed a comma here, there is some syntax error, put a comma, run again, and then you can say object A. Now if you write object dot num, you can see you will get the value, say 0, right? Now if you want to update this value, what you have to do, you have a class method here called sample. So you can write sample, and this takes some value, let's say 100, run. See, this is sample, not sample actually, sample. Run it, and now the value has been updated. If you check the value of number in the object, you can see it is now 100. So you have updated a class variable using a class method. So this thing is possible only when you use a class method decorator. Okay, if there is some other object, then this value will be updated for those objects as well. So using class methods, actually you can factory reset your data in the objects. Now if I talk about static method, see here I have written static method without self. It means it doesn't require self. Okay, and you will not get any error also. For example, if you write obj print name, and then if you write the name Peter, it will say hello Peter. See, if you don't write a static method, let me show you. If I don't write a static method decorator, if I run this, then in the same program you will get error as additional attribute. See, now you are getting error because now two values are being passed, so it is expecting two things to be written here as self. Now you don't want to write self, you want to treat it as a normal method, then you have to write the decorator called static method. Now this is how you are giving additional properties to your class, and that's why we use decorator. So object oriented programming ends here. Now let's quickly talk about the regular expression. Okay, I have updated those things. Let me run and again show you. I'm getting the values. Now if I talk about, see, regular expression, again it's a very important thing in web scraping. See, when you are going to web scrap data from websites, then regular expression is actually very important. When you want to find some data from the databases and all, there regular expression is used. So regular expression is basically making some expression to extract the data. Okay, suppose you want to extract mobile numbers from some data, so you know mobile number has 10 digits, so you will make a pattern to get the 10 digit number from the whole data. So wherever the 10 digit numbers are present, then you will extract it using these expressions. So this is regular expression, which is actually a format made out of a string. You can use regular expression in Python using RE module. So if you want to use RE module, you have to import it like this, import RE. So you import regular expression. Now in the regular expression, there are some important things like match, find all, okay, search. Okay, these are the three most commonly used method from regular expression. Apart from this, there are other methods also, like uh, uh, if I say find iter is there, search is there, split is there, okay, group by is there, a lot of methods are there, but these three are the most commonly used. And apart from this, there are meta characters are also there, which has some special meaning. Now for example, if I show you, let's say re has find all function. Okay, find all. Now in the find all, suppose I have a string written, hello Ram, how are you? Hello Ram, let's say, how are you? So over here, the useful information for me is going to be the name of a person. Okay, let's say this is the thing that I have written. Okay, so this is a string, and in this string, I want to find out the name of a person like Ram. So how to extract the name? So there is some pattern with the name, that is they are starting with the capital letter and has some number of characters in it. So over here I have three names, so I can write re dot find all. What I want to find, I want to find, um, I think I should write the you know format first, then the string. So here I will define, I want all the values from starting with A to Z. So in the string format you have to write capital A to Z followed by the numbers, that is A to Z, small a to Z, and it should have into three. No, it should have minimum three characters, maximum 10 characters. Let's say. So this is how I have specified a regular expression. So from this string, I want to find out the name which has at least three characters and at max 10 characters, starting with capital A to Z. Means from A to Z, it could be any letter and followed by small letters. If I run it, modulary has no find all. Okay, I think it's find all like this. Yes, so yes, I'm getting hello also. No, that's not correct. How are you? Of course these are not names, so I have to change something here. Let's say it is like this, hello. Okay, then also I'm getting this thing. So I have to restrict it again, so I have to put it outside the bracket, means anything from A to Z, like this, and it should be inside the list. List means a sequence. Okay, so there is some problem now. mm, Minimum 3. Okay, I'm not getting anything because I've written 3. I should write 2. So Ram I'm getting C. Means any letter from A to Z followed by small letters, and minimum 2 times it can come and maximum 10 times it can come. So here see, after R there are 2 letters. So yes, it satisfies this condition. So find all will tell me what is that value in the list. So Ram is that value. And let's say in the same string I have written Shyam. Okay, I have written Mohan. So I will get these names also, you can see. So using this find all function from RE, I'm able to get these useful names from the string. Okay, I'm just showing you how you can use these things. Okay, and what are the functions that are generally asked. But there are some problems here. Okay, like hello I was getting, so how to handle those things now, that is beyond the scope of this discussion, how to handle those things. But how it is working, how you are going to use RE, I am showing you that thing. If you want to say it properly, there is already a regular expression class videos that I have already uploaded. Go through those videos, you can understand a lot of things, because I have explained all the meta characters one by n. For example, if you're wondering what is curly bracket, what is a square bracket that I have written, then you need to watch that video first of all, then only you can understand. Okay, so here I have already assumed that you guys already know what is OP, you guys already have worked with regular expression. Okay, so you're taking this class as a revision so that you can prepare better. Okay, likewise we have search also. So what search does, search will tell you only search will search the pattern till the first match is found. Okay, so this is search. If I write search re dot search, it will just tell me that from index 6 to 9 I have found a match, that is Ram. But there are other characters also, like Shyam and Mohan is also a match, but it is not telling me that, because search looks for the pattern till that pattern is found. Once the pattern is found, it stops the search. This is the difference between find all and search. Find all means find all the patterns that is present. Search is different from that. Okay, search stops when the match is found. And similarly there is match function. So re dot match, what match does, match actually looks for the value initially, means in the whole string it looks for the match at the beginning of your string. So there is no such match in the beginning. In the beginning what it is hello, and hello is not a match, so it will not tell me the output, it will not give me the output. So this is the major difference between match, find all, and search. Okay, similarly there are other methods like split, how to split it. Okay, uh, see, that's why I haven't got the output here. The cell has ended the execution, now I'm not getting anything. Simple. Okay, so you can use regular expressions to find out the uh, valid email IDs from the whole lot of text. Now there you can use regular expression, and you can use find all function to find out the mail IDs. Let me show you one example. For example, let's say I have a data here. Okay, and apple, let's say something is written, apple is red. Hi Rahul, how are you? Okay, how are you? Your email ID is rahul at the rate gmail.com, but his Gmail now consider this as an example only, guys, but his Gmail ID is uh, abc at the rate gmail. Now intentionally I'm not writing AIL. Okay, I'm making it incorrect, gmail.com. Okay, now let me put it in triple quotes because this is a multi-line string that I have written, triple quotes. Okay, now here you can see rahul at the rate gmail.com is a valid mail, but this is not a valid mail because it should be abc at the rate gmail, not gmal. Okay, now this is a wrong email id, so I would like to filter out these things using regular expression. Let's find out the useful mail ids from you. So I will use re dot find all because I want to find all the mail ids, so I will use re dot find all. Now from where I want to find, I want to find from the data, but what pattern I want to find, I have to specify it here. So I'm looking for values from A to Z. So it should be in the string format. All the patterns that you make in regular expression should be in the string format. So from A to Z, I want the letters, and how many letters. So here you can write plus. Okay, plus means at least one or more than once will be there. Okay, so if I write a star, star means zero character is also okay. So no, that is not okay. I need at least one character. So we'll write plus. Now, if you don't understand this, go through the RE class first of all, then you can understand. A dash Z plus, and after this I want at the rate sign. So I will write at the rate. After this, what I want, I'm looking for Gmail word. After this, I'm looking for .com word. So we'll write it like this, and let's find all whether I'm getting it or not. Yes, so I have got one mail ID, and see, I'm not getting this thing. But why? Because I is not present. If I write I, then I will get both the things. See how easily I'm able to filter out all the mail IDs from here. Okay, now let's say there is some this mail ID abcdef at the rate, okay, gmail.com. Okay, now this is also valid, so that will be filtered out. So using RE, you can filter out the data, and that's why this is heavily used in the web scraping part, finding out the useful information from the whole lot of big data. RE is very useful in that case. So that's it. That those are the main things that are generally asked from the Python. This was the last video, guys. I hope you understood all the things that I have explained you here. Okay, if at some point you found out that okay, it was little difficult for me, then you have to go through the recorded sessions, guys, that I have already uploaded. I'm saying it again and again because don't just watch the this revision class. Go through the class first, then you can go through the recorded sessions here, the Python interview preparation series. So all this is it. These are the three classes for the Python. So I have finished this part. So next video will be very interesting. So this is, stay tuned. What next thing I'm coming up with? Hopefully, I'm coming with uh, R programming or web scraping through Selenium. So these are the two options that I have in my mind. So you can comment down which video you want. Okay, R programming or web scraping through Selenium. So we'll upload that video also. If you like this content, guys, just share it more and more. Let's grow our channel with more and more people. That's it from my side today. We'll meet you in the next video. Till then, take care. Bye bye.